The relationship between the United States and Iran has been strained for decades. It's a complex web of historical grievances, ideological clashes, and geopolitical maneuvering. Recent events, however, have pushed these two nations closer to the brink. The U.S. withdrawal from the Iran nuclear deal in 2018, followed by crippling economic sanctions, has fueled resentment in Tehran. Iran, in turn, has responded with a calibrated campaign of defiance. They have gradually increased their uranium enrichment levels, inching closer to the threshold needed for a nuclear weapon. Proxy conflicts in the Middle East, particularly in Iraq and Yemen, have further inflamed tensions. The situation is akin to a powder keg, with each side wary of the other's next move. This essay will examine a specific aspect of this volatile relationship, the potential threat posed by Iran to the U.S. military base on Diego Garcia. Located in the Indian Ocean, Diego Garcia represents a strategic asset for the United States, projecting American power into the heart of the Middle East and beyond. But could this vital outpost be vulnerable to an Iranian attack? The question is not merely hypothetical. Iran has demonstrated its willingness to target American interests in the region, as evidenced by the 2019 attacks on Saudi oil facilities. As we delve deeper into the complexities of this issue, we will explore the military capabilities of both nations, analyze the strategic importance of Diego Garcia, and consider the potential consequences of a preemptive Iranian strike. Diego Garcia, a tiny atoll in the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean, might seem insignificant at first glance. However, its strategic location transforms this remote island into a crucial hub for American military operations. Situated more than 1,000 miles south of India, Diego Garcia provides the United States with a unique geographic advantage. The base on Diego Garcia serves as a launching pad for long-range bombers, allowing the U.S. to project power deep into the Middle East, Central Asia, and even parts of East Africa. During the Cold War, it served as a vital link in containing Soviet influence in the Indian Ocean region. Today, it plays a critical role in supporting U.S. military operations in Afghanistan, Iraq, and the ongoing fight against terrorism. The base's remote location offers a degree of security, isolating it from potential threats. However, this isolation also makes it logistically challenging to defend. Diego Garcia relies heavily on a steady stream of supplies from the United States, making it potentially vulnerable to disruption. Moreover, the base's infrastructure, while substantial, is not impenetrable. The Trump administration's approach to Iran has been characterized by a combination of aggressive rhetoric and economic pressure. The decision to withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal, a landmark agreement negotiated by the Obama administration, was met with widespread condemnation from the international community. However, the Trump administration argued that the deal was flawed and did not go far enough in curbing Iran's nuclear ambitions. The reimposition of sanctions, coupled with the threat of military action, has had a devastating impact on the Iranian economy. The Iranian rial has plummeted in value, inflation has soared, and ordinary Iranians have struggled to afford basic necessities. The Trump administration has argued that this economic pressure is necessary to force Iran back to the negotiating table and extract concessions. However, critics of the Trump administration's approach argue that it has backfired, pushing Iran closer to the edge and increasing the risk of conflict. They point to Iran's decision to resume uranium enrichment and its increasingly assertive behavior in the region as evidence that the pressure campaign is not working. Section 4, Iran's arsenal, a closer look at capabilities and limitations. Iran's military capabilities are often shrouded in secrecy and exaggeration. While not possessing the overwhelming firepower of the United States, Iran has developed an asymmetric military doctrine designed to exploit its strengths and exploit American vulnerabilities. Iran's ballistic missile program is a key element of its military strategy. Over the years, Iran has developed a diverse arsenal of short, medium, and long-range missiles, some capable of reaching targets throughout the Middle East and potentially even parts of Europe. These missiles, while lacking the accuracy of their American counterparts, could potentially be used to target U.S. bases in the region, including Diego Garcia. In addition to its missile program, Iran has also invested heavily in its naval capabilities, particularly in the Persian Gulf. Iran's Navy, while no match for the U.S. Navy in a conventional confrontation, has focused on developing swarming tactics using small, fast attack boats armed with torpedoes and anti-ship missiles. These tactics, while unlikely to sink a U.S. aircraft carrier, could potentially disrupt shipping lanes and pose a threat to less well-defended targets. Section 5. The Preemptive Strike Dilemma. Could Iran hit Diego Garcia? The question of whether Iran could successfully launch a preemptive strike against Diego Garcia is a complex one. On the surface, the distance between Iran and Diego Garcia, roughly 2,500 miles, would seem to preclude such an attack. Iran's ballistic missiles, while capable of reaching targets in the Middle East, have limited range and accuracy. However, Iran could potentially employ a combination of unconventional tactics and military assets to target Diego Garcia. One possibility would be to use a combination of mid-air refueling and forward staging to extend the range of its ballistic missiles. Iran could also potentially deploy suicide drones or cruise missiles from ships disguised as civilian vessels. While such an attack would be extremely difficult to pull off and carry significant risks, it is not entirely outside the realm of possibility. Iran has demonstrated its willingness to take bold and unpredictable actions in the past, and a preemptive strike against Diego Garcia, while risky, could offer Iran a significant propaganda victory and potentially cripple U.S. military operations in the region. Section 6. Expert opinions weighing the risks and possibilities. Military analysts and experts are divided on the likelihood of an Iranian preemptive strike against Diego Garcia. Some argue that such an attack is highly unlikely, citing the significant logistical and military challenges involved. They point to Iran's history of relying on asymmetric tactics and proxy warfare, suggesting that a direct attack on a well-defended U.S. military base would be out of character. Others, however, caution against underestimating Iran's willingness to take risks, particularly if they feel backed into a corner. They argue that Iran's leadership may calculate that a preemptive strike, while risky, could offer a chance to inflict significant damage on the United States and potentially deter further American military action. The truth likely lies somewhere in between these two extremes. While a preemptive Iranian strike on Diego Garcia remains a low-probability event, it is not inconceivable. The United States must therefore take this threat seriously and ensure that Diego Garcia is adequately defended against a range of potential threats. A powder keg in the Middle East. The situation in the Persian Gulf remains highly volatile and unpredictable. The Trump administration's maximum pressure campaign has increased the risk of conflict. Even a minor incident could quickly spiral out of control. The Biden administration aims for a more diplomatic approach, but it's unclear if this will de-escalate tensions. Iran demands the lifting of sanctions as a precondition for talks. Diego Garcia's strategic importance is growing. The U.S. seeks to counter Chinese influence in the Indo-Pacific. Diego Garcia remains a tempting target for U.S. adversaries. The U.S. must ensure Diego Garcia is adequately defended. How much risk is acceptable to maintain its presence in this volatile region?